Hello, aloha, welcome. All of the greetings, y'all. All of the greetings. I'm Natalie. This is Life After a Cult, the channel where we expose cult nonsense, laugh about the absurdities, and hopefully we unbrainwash ourselves in the process. We got a lot to talk about today. In this Scientology recap, we're going to dive into the latest Aaron Smith-Levin confronting Tony D'Amato as tensions escalated outside an LA courthouse. We're going to break down Leah Remini's legal battle against the cult of Scientology and what's next in her fight for justice. Louis Theroux, you know, the guy who made the My Scientology movie, he's getting an honor, and that's really going to anger Scientology, and I'm here for it. That and a bunch more stuff that we are going to talk about and get into today. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Moderators, I really appreciate you. Members, I see you, and guess what? Today is Tuesday. We have a members-only live stream at 4 o'clock my time. I will remind again about that later on. But yes, that is today. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I see all your alohas. Aloha back to you. And I want to give a big aloha to the newest member of the Life After a Cult family, to our members. Great to gig in the sky. Aloha. Thank you so much. Saw you just signed on. Happy to have you. If you can't make our members only live stream, please do catch it on the replay. In fact, we're really stacking up quite a bit of members only content. It's really fun. And today I need y'all's feedback. We got stuff to talk about. Also want to share with you, I am feeling so much better. I had a low-grade fever since like Friday. You guys know that I've been sick, but I've been listening to my body and resting and fighting the urge to push through and do things anyways. No, I rested, and I also did some work because, you know, me. And I'm feeling a ton better, and I'm ready to get back to it. Not like I've not been here, but I just feel like my energy's better. You know what I'm saying? I feel better. I can think more clearly. All of the good things. Aloha, everybody. I see you coming in, and do me a solid and hit that like on your way in. Help us get out those notifications. First thing we're going to do is start with a little bit of funny. Somebody sent me this, made me laugh. I'm a woman of a certain age going through the menopause, as y'all know, and per my demographics on YouTube, a lot of you are too, or heading towards it. If you're not, just humor me with this funny little thing that has completely disappeared. Where did it go? There it is. Okay. Somebody sent me this from Facebook, and I'm still dying laughing. I love a good hotline. Check this out.
Menopause Hotline. I sure can. I'm just going to ask you a couple questions before we get started. Are you between the ages of 35 and 65? Yeah, it's a bit of a window. Floor to ceiling. Oh, look, a dumpster fire in the alley. And date of your last period. Wonderful. What can I help you with today? Oh, dry skin. Yeah, itchy. Do I have lice? Is this eczema? Do I have scabies?
What I love about it is the crazy amount of symptoms and how, I want to do a whole separate video about this because I feel like, back me up, ladies, when we go to the doctor, does it seem like it's just like, oh, our stuff's not really addressed? I don't want to digress too much, but it's been a thought in my mind lately. I'm telling you. Hey, Moose on the Loose. Aloha to you. I see you there. Welcome. Okay, now let's talk about something that Scientology is not going to like, and we really want to make sure they know about it, so we must awaken the Office of Special Affairs. Let me grab my Davy dolls. Ooh, look, his little collar's all sticking up. That's out uniform. Did you know that in the Sea Organization, at most musters or morning muster, we would have a uniform inspection? They would come through and roast you if your uniform was like something wasn't buttoned or tucked in. This would happen at different times. Okay, David Miscavige, wake up your people. Office of Special Affairs, rise and shine, my lovely. Excuse me, it's like hard time getting the words out. We have a lot to talk about, including something that might not make you or dear leader very happy. So I really want to make sure you note this. Wakey. Hey, Anonymous Lens. Good to see you. Okay, so Louis Theroux, let's look at this. He did a documentary about Scientology. You all have probably seen it. If not, what is it on these days? I don't even know. But if you look it up on if you Google where you can watch it, you'll be able to see it. Documentary great, Louis Theroux to be honored with National Film and Television School Fellowship. Look at this. Now, he has done multiple documentaries, Weird Weekends. My Scientology Movie, of course, is the only one I actually care about. So I'm not going to pretend I've seen the others because I did not. I did not see it. But when I heard this, I was like, I love this. I love this so much. I love that people who are doing the good work and getting the word out about Scientology and exposing it are being honored. So this is a lovely thing. So Office of Special Affairs, make sure you note it in your little notebook where you keep track of negative press about Scientology, because, you know, you can't mention Louis Theroux without mentioning Scientology. Really, you can't. You can't. And if you guys have not seen his documentary on Scientology, like I said, search it up and check it out. That's right, Renee. Yeah, it was a good one. It was. Irina says, speaking of all things NASA, Lou's balls are as big as the moon. Guy has guts and courage. Agreed. It was a good one. Oh, no way. Cricket Cinema. I only know from genealogy, but Louis Theroux is my distant cousin. His movies are great. Oh, very cool. I did the, which one did I do? Was it 23andMe? I think so. I'm amazed by how many relatives I have out there. We all have way more blood relations than we ever think about when you think about it. It's kind of crazy. And I know some of you say, Natalie, why'd you do that? The government has your DNA. I don't care. I don't care. If they want it, they're getting it anyways. I just want to know how much of a Neanderthal I am and where my ancestors came from. But I know a lot of people won't do it. And I respect that. I respect that. You don't have to. Okay, now we need to talk about Sloan. Now, y'all know I love me some Sloan. A lot of you don't watch him. Some of you do. He did a video on Neil Gaiman, former Scientologist. Guy's in a ton of hot water because of allegations of an SA nature. But here's what I found a little odd, unless I, just kind of like, lost my focus and missed it in the video. I don't think Sloan mentioned Scientology. You know how he normally whispers it? I don't think he mentioned it at all. So I did get like all up into comments. I got all parasocial on him. I was nice about it. I'm just like, hey, what about his deep, dark ties to Scientology? This is so much a part of this story. Let's just look at a clip from Sloan. I still love him and I love his content. This video was called Neil Gaiman is a Freak. Famous author tortured his nanny and held her hostage. His ex-wife knew.
Thank God something told these women to go and record these calls so that he can be exposed.
So I have a plan.
Okay.
And I wanted to run it by you and see if it's acceptable for you. And I've been doing a lot of thinking and a lot of listening to what you were saying on the last call. So what you said about paying for your therapy, I did the numbers and I went, well, that's 10 years, $500 a month, which I make comes out to about $60,000. So what I would propose is that I will give you $15,000 a year for 4 years, which is the top level of a tax-free gift.
In my opinion, he sounds so condescending in that call. Thank God something told these women to go and
All right, let's talk about this. I had not heard those phone calls before. I had not. Had you guys heard them? I didn't. I don't know if he's the first one sharing them or what. But I mean, come on, Neil Gaiman. It's like, for one, that is not enough money. Secondly, it really gave like, like that's my impersonation of like creepy old guy, just like predatoring out on people. But let's call and just, offer them money, because that seems to be the solution, right? Just offer them money. I can get away with whatever I want as long as I offer them money. All right, let's move on now. Let's move on from that. So I know was a little bit of an echo. I don't know why, but if I mute my mic on my end while I play a video, that should go away. But you might hear it for like just a second or a little bit as I quickly move and hit that mute and hopefully remember to unmute myself. Let's see. Okay, moving on. Where are we at now? We got to talk about this. The underground bunker, let's go to the bunker first. In the bunker. The underground bunker did a really interesting story about Tom Cruise, but a different take from what we are used to. And I want to talk about it because this is interesting, or at least I think it is. Again, Tony Ortega from the Underground Bunker. Scientology in the time of Trumpism. Tom Cruise getting rehabbed by the right? This is a very interesting question. We're going to look at this. We're going to talk about it. Throw your comments in there. If you're on the replay, let me know what your thoughts are. We've been telling you lately about the surprising connections between the second Trump administration and high-level Scientologists. Which, side note, we are going to, hold on. Did I bring up I do need to bring up something. We got to talk a little bit more about Joy Vila as well, because we can take her off the list of influential Scientologists, because sounds like girl has split, left the building. She is like passing go, collecting 200 and not looking back. But more on that in a little bit. President Trump appointed Scientology's wealthiest donor, Trish Duggan, to the board of trustees at the Kennedy Center. He named OT, that's Operating Thetan, Scientologist and attorney John P. Cole to his deputy envoy to Ukraine while key negotiations are going on. Another major Scientology donor, Grant Cardone, spoke at the Madison Square Garden rally a week before the election. And Pam Bondi, the new U.S. Attorney General, has a long relationship with Scientology and has praised its civil rights, and civil rights is in quotes. We also pointed out the connection between Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to Operating Thetan Scientologist attorneys who are leading a years-long litigation war against the manufacturers of the devices used in ECT. And once Kennedy was confirmed, the White House put out an executive order directing him to take aim at what happens to be one of Scientology's most ardent goals, eliminating psych drugs in the form of antidepressants. Now, I want to say this, though. There has been issues with the overprescription of medication. I just think there's some place to meet in the middle. This seems to be an extreme. Let's totally get rid of it. Let's overprescribe everybody. There's like some kind of middle ground in there somewhere, and I do not think that we're there yet. Let's see, with top donors and OT Scientologists like Dugan, Cardone, and Cole so tight with the administration, and with Bondi at Justice, we agree with the late Mike Rinder, who said after the election that he did not expect anything to be done by the federal government in the next 4 years about Scientology's controversies or abuses. So I don't know. I want to get your thoughts on this. Tell me what you think in the chat. Tell me in the comments if you're on the replay. Do you think that the relationship of having these higher up Scientologists so close to this administration is going to, move the needle one way or another? So here's kind of my thought on it. I think that in any situation, right, regardless of which administration it is, you align yourself with like-minded individuals. And I think it's very possible that that's more all it is, right? Scientology wants to end psychiatry. RFK Jr. wants to get rid of psychiatric drugs. There are things that they have in common. So I don't know how much from a Scientology point of view influence they're going to have. You know what I'm saying? I think they share some common ideas about how they would like some things to change. But I want to know what you guys think about this here. I'm going to link this down below so that we can read the whole thing in there. XJW Vernon, will Dugan have an e-meter in her office or sec check liars? Oh my gosh, let's hope not. Anonymous Len says, wow, Scientology will once again infiltrate the government. Their mission to clear the planet is one step closer. It does make me nervous. I will say that. I just don't know. I also don't want to just jump 100% on a bandwagon saying like, yeah, they're all gonna, this is because of Scientology. Like I said, I think they share some things in common in their ideology. I don't think that they're necessarily trying to help Scientology. I could be dead wrong. about this. Now, is that Scientology's intention? Heck yes. 100% what they want to do. And Scientology will use these relationships any which way they can to forward their agenda of expanding Scientology. And if you expand Scientology, you expand human rights abuses. Because let's be real, Scientology is a human rights abusing every day, all day type of organization. Let's see. Power Lies to Paralyze says SSRIs went up when tryptophan was banned in the 90s. Patents ran out and tryptophan ban was lifted, just saying. Now, Power Lies to Paralyze, you've got quite the brain on you. I'm not connecting the dots there. You'll have to send me an email and explain. Of course, you don't have to. This is not a cult. Do what you want. But I appreciate your emails and kind of like helping me understand the connection of those dots there. Angela Bo Bangela says the church has money, so they will probably be allowed to thrive. It is very much a, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours kind of situation. And I know that favors get given, favors are expected. It kind of seems to be how the whole thing works. Let's see. Lisa Kelson says, no matter who won, I don't think anything would have been done. Why wasn't anything done in the last 4 years? Lisa Pete says, just more robber barons. Yeah. I'm all ears. We should never admit defeat without trying. So many unexpected outcomes are possible. Unless we try, we'll never know. Yeah, I'm not definitely going to like lay down and like, oh, well, there's too many Scientologists near this administration. We shouldn't even try. No, that is exactly what Scientology wants. Good morning, Queen of Karma. Good to see you. Vernon, maybe Scientology can give Pam Bondi and Kennedy E-meters as a present. Oh, okay. Keep your thoughts coming. I'm going to catch up on these comments afterwards. When I'm done, I try to go through and read things because during the live stream, it can be a little difficult. So keep them coming. Keep them coming. I'm going to link that down below so you can read the whole thing there from the underground bunker, along with all the videos and clips that we're going to be talking about today. Now we got to move on to something kind of disturbing and a little scary. There is a channel called Dr. G Explains, and he did this video about cult control. It was called Cult Control. Psychologist decodes body language tactics of 5 infamous cult leaders. I thought this was interesting. We're going to take a look at a couple of these, and you guys tell me if you recognize any of these tactics anywhere, really.
He just stares straight through the people listening. This video is meant for people that were sort of going through an onboarding process, that were joining the cult. And so this is him talking about his various beliefs.
He has Xenu eyes, as it's often called, around here in our community. Oh, I forgot to mute myself so it doesn't echo. He definitely has the Xenu eyes. Let's check this out.
How they could be saved, how they would not be plowed under at the end of the age.
And you can see he keeps his eyebrows up the whole time. Oftentimes when we talk to emphasize, we raise our eyebrows briefly to make a point, to emphasize a certain word. He just stands there with his eyes wide open. He keeps his eyebrows up the whole time. It's a very unusual, peculiar, and probably mesmerizing stare for vulnerable people that want to connect with him.
That's scary. I thought Xenu eyes was just a thing in the cult of Scientology. It turns out it's a common trait amongst cult leaders. Did y'all know that? I didn't know that. Professor Furberger, thank you. Yeah, I've had these for a while. I don't rotate as much as I should with my reading glasses, but yeah, we're trying. I got these a while ago, but never really wore them. I'm glad that you like them. Bondi, Bob, Bondi. Is it Bondi or Bondi? Bondi. I always mix it up. I get told over and over again how to pronounce her name, and I always confuse it with Australia, with that beach. Juanita, good to see you. Squirrel SPTV. It's a common trait among sociopaths. That makes a lot of sense. sense. Queen of Karma, all of these cults kind of pull ideas from each other. So many people think they were similar, Heaven's Gate and Scientology. Oh, that's very true. There does seem to be a lot of commonalities there. There really does. Okay, Bondi, not Bondi, Bondi. We'll see if I can remember that. Thank you, Lori Plays. Also great to see you. Okay, now let's go over to this other clip from the same video with David Koresh, where he talks more about these traits that seem to be common in some cult leaders. Hold on, check it out.
Shut me. There's 150 Psalms here. Some people find it amazing that I know every one of them.
All right, so there's some of that grandiosity coming out. Wow, some people are just amazed at how smart I am. Look at my intellect. And so rather than coming out and saying, hey, I am so smart, it's wow, some people are amazed by this. This is his way of sort of saying things to his vulnerable people without seeming arrogant. They'll think of him as humble even when he's being arrogant. Watch this part again.
Some people find it amazing that I know every one of them.
Vernon Howell,
People see this as a sort of dramatic sincerity.
33 years old, the same age as Christ when he died on the cross.
Oh, this time when Christ reveals himself is going to be according to the book. Because there's some statements in there that might make you a little bit happy.
Howell drifted into Mount Carmel in 1981 after being kicked out of the Seventh-day Adventist Church.
Interesting. I can recognize some of those commonalities too as it relates to in Scientology. And even though Scientology is based on the works of the supreme cult leader, L. Ron Hubbard, it is now being run by David Miscavige, right? Cult leader 2.0, I guess. But there are also people within the organization itself that take on a lot of these characteristics because they go forth like an army to spread the cult and to get people to bend to the will of David Miscavige and Scientology. It is, but isn't it like really kind of scary? Like, did you see? I watched most of these. And it scared the crap out of me. I was like, wow, these commonalities. But here's the good thing is they become recognizable. These are things as we spread the word, because here cult leaders are changing. Cult leaders today, in my opinion, some of the new ones do not look like who you would traditionally see as a cult leader. It's why I did that video, was it last week? Is your favorite creator a cult leader? If you didn't see it, I recommend it. It's under videos on my channel. You got to go under videos versus lives because it was pre-recorded. But check it out because I get into exactly that. They don't always look like what you think, and it's changing. It's starting to change. When I first came onto YouTube, I thought, oh, culture's just such a small thing, because my world was pretty much involved in the cult of Scientology. And I realized, whoa, nothing could be further from the truth. People are being brainwashed and manipulated on a daily basis, especially on the internet, where some cult ways of thinking, like black and white thinking, are starting to become very prevalent in different communities. And it's definitely something to be aware of to make sure that we don't go down that rabbit hole and we don't get stuck in, a real cult way of thinking, even though not a cult in sight, because they start up and they pop up. And there's so many more than I ever thought there was. It really blew my mind. I heard something like over 10,000 just in the United States. I mean, it's crazy, right? I mean, it's completely overwhelming in that way. Oh my goodness. Someone knows when to interrupt me when I'm just like getting my, I'm get my groove in here. Hold on. I better answer. Life After a Cult. This is Natalie. How can I help you? Oh, who is this? No. What? Oh my God, no way. Is this a prank? Am I being punked? Is this the Office of Special Affairs trying a new tactic? Wait, hold on. David Miscavige calling me personally. That's rich. Did all your private investigators call in sick today? Oh, you have feelings for me. Are you sure it's not just indigestion from all that niacin? Wow. Dave, this is so unexpected. I mean, I always knew you had an obsession with me. I always knew, yeah. But I thought it was more of a let's destroy her life kind of vibe, not a let's run away together. Uh-huh. Oh, you think about me all the time. That's cute. You know, most guys show interest by sending flowers, not private investigators. Wait, let me get this straight. You, the absolute dictator of Scientology, a man who spends his days screaming at underpaid staff and dodging subpoenas, think that we have a connection. Dave, I hate to break it to you, but I think you're mistaking disdain for love. Happens a lot in high control groups. Oh, wow, you're serious. You actually think we'd make a great couple. Okay, tell me, what's your idea of a perfect date? Dinner in a locked room while Sea Org members, slide food through the door? Oh, wait. Maybe a romantic evening where I watch you berate someone for blinking too much, because that's just so sexy. Dave, babe, sweetheart, nugget overlord of doom. I need you to hear me loud and clear. Not in a billion years. Yeah. Oh, you'd even promote me to a special position in Scientology. Let me guess. Supreme Commander of Suppressive Persons. No? How about Grand Duchess of the Whole? No. How about Her Royal Highness of Not Falling for Your Nonsense? Wait, I just realized what this is. You're attracted to me because I don't fear you. That must be so confusing for you. What's it like, Dave? Falling for a woman who won't cower in your presence? Look, I get it. It must be lonely at the top of the pyramid scheme. No real friends, no genuine love, just an army of terrified people pretending to like you. But buddy, I'm not here to fix you. I'm here to roast you. What's that? Are you going to have me followed now? Again? Dave, sweetie, that's just foreplay at this point. If you liked me, you could have just said so instead of spending millions of tax-free dollars on private investigators going after your perceived enemies. What? Wait, is that why you never answer subpoenas? Are you just playing hard to get with the government? Oh, you're mad now. That's cute. I gotta go. Say hi to Shelly. Wait, never mind. Some nerve, I swear. I got to start getting somebody to screen these calls because I can't be interrupted for these type of shenanigans here. I mean, what is he thinking? What is he thinking? Obviously, like not my type. What is it about me that attracts galactic overlords and cult leaders? What am I giving exactly? What is the vibe? But who knows? Who knows? We do what we can do, right? Now, speaking of the Office of Special Affairs, one of yours got out, Office of Special Affairs, more than one actually, but we're going to take a look at this. We're going to take a look at this clip here that Kelly Copter shared, where a former Office of Special Affairs agent reveals what she had to do in Scientology. Oh, yeah. She tattles, she tells. Let's take a look at this.
And I was asked to assist with the harassment of Mr. Francois Choquette, who I'm sure you're all well familiar with. And I was asked to go out to his home, which I did. I was actually, as part of the information control that the church runs on their members, I was indoctrinated to believe that all protesters were terrorists. Upon my return to the organization, I was also informed if anybody were to ask me who set me up to do this, I should tell them that it was on my behalf. I myself decided to do this, not the church. The church will lie and will set others up to lie in order to give themselves a favorable image. And I was asked to...
How crazy is that? And so true. So true. So completely true. I'm cracking up at your comments here. Hey, Jesse, good to see you. Your sense of humor. I'm glad you guys are here for it. Lisa Kelson, I hope the Office of Special Affairs people listening get a laugh too. It's in large part why I do it too, because, I know what it's like to be a C organization member, and I kind of too take it as a personal challenge to see if I can get them to laugh. That you want to, Office of Special Affairs. You do. And it's okay. And you know what? Out here, outside of Scientology, outside of high control groups, we can laugh at the absurdity of things. That's so much of the fun. Seal Bill says, run, Natalie. You'll end up making him grilled cheese sandwiches while he and Tom watch Eagles games with no shirts on and compliment each other's physique. Yeah, not down with that. Definitely not. Yeah, no, not at all. All right, where am I? Oh, let's go over to the blue buildings. The blue buildings. Becky was outside there doing some live streaming. She showed us a look at the volunteer minister tents that are still up in that parking lot where nothing seems to be going on. And she had an encounter with a young man who said he is a volunteer for Scientology, though not a Scientologist, although he also said that he didn't really have any money. And that's probably the only thing getting in the way of him being a Scientologist. So what do? Use them for free labor. Oh, you don't have money to give us for books, for services. Well, we're going to put you to work where we can photograph and video it and show the world what we're doing. Let's take a look at this. Just a little clip. I'm going to link the whole video down below so you can check it out.
But there really are not. A lot of these so-called donations, there are actual well, I think they took them down, but they were actual videos and streams about them taking, when they went to Santa Anita to go and do the water drive and the money drive for the fire victims. You can see them stealing a lot of the donated stuff. Stealing, yeah. Yeah, stealing. So I'm bringing this information because it seems that you're a very kind soul and you're really just here to help.
I don't even have $1 to my name.
Yeah, and you're here now. Here, instead of helping you, they might give you the first course and kind of be like, here, this one's on us, but they really are not. A lot of these.
Yeah, she let him know what was up, and it sounded like he was going to kind of like, be with that he didn't know a lot of that. And I'm so glad. I am so glad that she's letting him know, because he does seem like a young man that Scientology is trying to take advantage of. Absolutely. So she was in the right place at the right time there. Jesse says somewhere in Scientology is chuckling to themselves that Natalie is a hoot. Maybe they're all clamoring to be able to, you know what? I will watch Natalie's videos. I will take that bullet, because somebody has to watch our different content and whatever they do with it, right? So I like to think in my world, I just imagine them like, yeah, no, I want Natalie. I want to watch Natalie's videos. Just hit like, Office of Special Affairs. Make sure you subscribe too. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to enjoy the content, at least give your girl a like. I'm just saying, you're enjoying it. No one's going to know. No one will know. Nisa said, where'd you go? Nisa said, when is the Office of Special Affairs going to get the message no one cares about them or their volunteer ministers? Never, because remember, the big reason why Scientology has to do this and videoing it and all of that is to use it in their propaganda events, like the one coming up in March. March 13th is the birthday of L. Ron Hubbard, and it is like their year end. So it's the mad dash right now for the birthday game. They're playing this thing they call the birthday game, where each organization, each division, department can play against each other. You get points for certain statistics, and they all want to play to win the birthday game for L. Ron Hubbard. So it's mad dash time. So that means lots of propaganda videos to make. Truly be interesting to see what they end up sharing next, in March. At the L. Ron Hubbard birthday event, one of the biggest propaganda events of the season. Hey, Danny, good to see you there. All right, let's take a look now. I want to share something with you here. It is Hitzel's 1-year anniversary. She's been out protesting Scientology in Austin. Let's give her a shout out, throw her a ton of alohas, celebrating her 1 year. Here she was out in Austin getting things shut down.
Ready? Just landed. Ready? Just landed.
Happy 1-year anniversary. How fun. How fun. Hey, Johnny Bravo. Good morning to you and welcome. Welcome, welcome. Hitzel, you're welcome. Thank you for being out there, educating people, exposing Scientology, raising awareness. Appreciate it so much that you're out there doing that. And I hope that you're having a good time doing it as well. You can check out Hitzel here. Nancy's sharing her link. It's also going to be linked down below that you can go ahead and follow her and see what else she's got going on and is doing in regard to Scientology in Austin. Oh, Amber Vanessa's. I hated the birthday game because everybody would get all crazy and mad and just get 10 times worse than it already was. Exactly. Exactly. The demand to produce in Scientology, no matter what's going on in your life, is insane. Literally insane. Yet they put so much pressure on every individual staff member. Like your job is so vital that the planet will stop turning if you don't do it. If you don't write enough letters, the entire fate of the world is on your shoulders. Nothing felt better to me than not taking that on. Than going, you know what, Scientology? No, I'm no longer trying to save the world. I'm not trying to save the planet, right? No, that's you want to keep playing that game and doing that and think that one, you even can. You know, you're going to clear an entire planet. You can't clear your street. We know this. We have eyes. Some of us were in Scientology for many years and could see that it wasn't expanding. It wasn't. Those of you who might be watching who are under the radar, you want to leave or you're having doubts about Scientology, your doubts are valid. Your organization is not the only one. Your local organization is not the only one that is slow, not expanding, crazy things going on. Yeah, it's like that everywhere. And that's part of the fun of what we get to bring you here at Life After a Cult is the truth about Scientology and how it's not actually expanding. Quite the contrary there. Northern Girl says, if anyone has a birthday in the chat, let us know. We can send you some extra aloha today. That's right. Let me know if anyone pops in and I don't see it there, Nancy. All right, let's go over now to San Francisco, where Club Brain Fog is there educating people about what Scientology really is. And again, these opportunities of people walking up and asking questions is amazing because you're not just sharing it with that person, you're sharing it with everybody who watches the live stream or catches it on their replay or sees it here. It's a great way to get the word out.
There's a cutout in Florida of him that the other protesters use. We protest all around the world for real.
Protest against this?
Yeah, because it's a cult.
Scientology.
Well, it's not a church. It's not a religion. They call themselves a religion, but there's no charity in or out of the church. So that's not a religion.
So there's no what?
Charity. They don't even.
Charity for themselves.
No, they don't even do charity to their older people. Yep, they put them in a building in LA.
What do they do with the money?
That's what we want to know. It's all offshore. Yep, and this middle-aged man controls it because now instead of L. Ron Hubbard, it's someone else, and he goes around wearing listening shoes because he's rather short. Yes, I work against him because.
I love when the truth about Scientology gets out there. And you know, because remember, San Francisco is the home of Aaron Cairo, David Miscavige's golden boy, right? He had Braille, well, still has Braille skateboarding, had quite a big YouTube channel, still does. I don't think it's doing as well since he shut down that location where they would do the skateboarding. What do you call it? A skate park, an indoor one. I'm so not up on that, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. So it's wonderful having her out there because, again, if there was a location that would be a place that Scientology does not want people out there live streaming and protesting, San Francisco is one of them. There are many, but that is definitely one. CO Bill says Aaron Cairo peels off and hides when CBF sees his car. Oh, when Club Brain Fog sees it, yeah, he takes off. I don't doubt it. Sometimes she catches him. I love her little Aaron Cairo sightings. Especially when he realizes she's there. Like, you get that look is just precious. It's so precious, right? When Scientologists, especially staff members, notice that somebody's out there live streaming. It's a lot of different looks. I wish somebody would do a montage of the responses, the looks on the faces of specifically Scientology staff members and Sea Org members when they realize that people are outside looking in. Angela, is there a way to know if your vet or chiropractor or dentist is a part of one of the front groups? Well, you could check their website, you'll see there's a way that Scientologist tends to speak. Sometimes they will outright do a link to something that's Scientology oriented. Kind of more that way. If you're in the waiting room and you see a Way to Happiness book, that's a good telltale sign. Sometimes they'll have certificates from Scientology up on their walls. So when you're in the office, just take a look around and you see, and you can outright ask too. Maybe you don't want to ask, are they a Scientologist? Because it's a matter of right there. Even though Scientology is a cult, it does have their status with the IRS and people get to practice Scientology. I don't know why they still do, but then why did I for 35 years? Multiple reasons. We're still unpacking that, okay? But that's, I think, some of the ways to tell. If you guys have some ideas on how to tell, throw it in the chat. If you're on the replay, jump in those comments. Let us know what you think. Let us know. You could ask them too, do they follow L. Ron Hubbard's management technology? Sometimes even the staff at these places don't know that their management technology is Scientology because they don't recognize L. Ron Hubbard as the founder of Scientology. So it's always interesting when they find out. Some of them don't know. But definitely a good way to take. Oh, Bob, good point. Some have org board. So an org board is an organizing board. It shows you this person is at the head of the organization. Here's the people underneath. Here's underneath them the jobs, and it tells you what each job is. And each department has what's called a valuable final product of what it is that they do. That is another telltale sign. You can also look for a tone scale chart. If you see a chart of little round beings showing different stages of emotions and feelings, you might have walked into a Scientology office there. That is another one there. Northern Girl, thanks for the reminder. Hit that like, y'all. All right, where am I now? Let's talk about Leah Remini. Let's talk about Leah Remini and her ongoing battle with Scientology. There is an article out that really lays it out nicely, and we're going to look at this. The battle continues. Leah Remini and the Church of Scientology. How did Leah Remini go from 35 years in the church to filing a lawsuit against them? I always think it's funny that she was in for 35 years. I was in for 35 years. Maybe that's like a cutoff point for a lot of people. 34 years, okay, we'll take it. 35 years, no, forget this. I'm out. So the beginning. Leah Remini is one of Hollywood's most unique celebrities. The former King of Queens star is known for something other than acting, Scientology. And moreover, her stance against the church. Okay, from here on, it's going to say church. I have to say cult. I can only say church so many times before my brain might explode. In recent years, Remini has been vocal about Scientology, discussing topics such as her childhood, daily life, and even acting while under the religion's control. Remini was born in Brooklyn to a Catholic household, but around the age of 8 or 9 years old, her mother joined the cult of Scientology. The next year, the Remini family moved to LA to be closer to the church's headquarters. Oh, I'll let church slip. Excuse me. The Remini, we did that. Okay. Little did she know, Leah would be a Scientologist for the next 35 years of her life. Before there was the King of Queens and old school, Leah, along with the rest of her family, had to work many jobs daily. Why? The Reminis were in debt to the cult of Scientology and had to, yes, had to, take courses to move up within the religion. Leah Remini had been open about her struggles with Scientology and how it impacted her acting career while still in the cult. The most prominent issue was the creative restrictions the cult placed on her, making sure her work aligned with the cult expectations. Scientology has strict guidelines in place, especially for more famous members of the cult, to keep the cult representation positive. These restrictions included avoiding roles with excessive violence or sexuality. Now, as I read these, I want you to keep in mind a few things, including how you can tell that Scientology is trying to take a different stance on this because they're running out of celebrities. Scientology has gotten to the point where they're like, oh my gosh, we have almost no celebrities left and no new celebrities want to join. What do we do? We need to lighten up a little bit. We need to at least pretend to be a little more friendly to the LGBTQ Scientologists without signaling to Scientologists fully that that's okay. Another aspect that caused strife in Remini's acting career was that any coworker of hers could not be classified as a suppressive person who would go against the cult's teachings. The practice of disconnection mandated that she sever ties with individuals who were considered harmful to the cult's teachings. Remini was expected to distance herself from co-stars, agents, and even directors who did not meet the cult standards. See, again, that's the thing with Scientology, always trying to tell you who you can communicate with, who you can do business with, who you can have as a doctor or a dentist or a chiropractor. If any of those people had left Scientology, no, you suddenly supposed to cut ties with them. And that's exactly what ends up happening. Leah's faith in the cult began to falter around 2006 during Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes' wedding. Oh, we all remember that. Leah questioned the head of the cult, David Miscavige, about where his wife was. A high-ranking member of the cult told her she did not have the authority to ask. Out of concern for David's wife, Shelley, Leah filed a knowledge report asking the cult to investigate David and Tom's actions. After this report was filed, Leah was then subjected to years of mental torture and thought modification. Her family was investigated by the cult as well. People who Leah thought were her friends within the cult started filing reports against her, making her life almost impossible within the cult. Once Leah decided to leave the cult in 2013, she was considered a suppressive person. She was then shunned by the entire Scientology community, except for the people who also left as a result of her leaving, and was not allowed to have any contact with any member of the cult. Leah was fortunate enough that her family left with her. Another thing we have in common, my family left with me too, most of them. Once leaving the cult, Leah went on a mission to expose the abuse of the cult of Scientology. She took legal action by filing a missing persons report for Shelley Miscavige, as well as creating a television series with Mike Rinder called Scientology and the Aftermath. The show told the stories of many ex-Scientologists who told their stories of abuse within the cult. So Leah Remini's lawsuit against the cult of Scientology took a turn in early 2024 when a judge dismissed parts of her case, ruling that some of the cult attacks on her were protected by free speech laws. Let's sit in that for a minute. The harassment by Scientology is protected under free speech laws. And a lot of the abusive practices of Scientology also hide behind this whole religious protection there. And this we know. This we know. Let's see. Remini, a vocal critic of Scientology since leaving in 2013, claimed the cult had harassed her for years through online attacks, stalking, and intimidation. The judge decided that some of the cult's comments, like calling her a bigot or racist, were protected opinions in a public dispute. However, other serious claims, such as accusations of her mistreating her daughter or denying her father cancer treatment, were allowed to proceed. The judge also ruled that the cult couldn't use free speech protections for the alleged surveillance and harassment Remini faced. Her lawsuit described how the cult hired private investigators to follow her, set up cameras at her neighbor's house, and damaged her mailbox. These actions were seen as having no legal reason and couldn't be protected by the First Amendment. Remini also claimed the cult interfered with her work, harassing employees from iHeartMedia and Audio Boom, which led to her podcast deals being canceled. The judge agreed that these claims could proceed. With the trial scheduled for 2025, Remini continues to seek an injunction to stop further harassment and surveillance, making her ongoing fight against the cult practices. So still in the fight, still ongoing. And I don't think it will ever cease to amaze me how culty Scientology really is. Think about the arbitration agreements that many of us signed over and over and over again in Scientology, which basically said, oh, no, we're not going to sue Scientology. We're going to agree to religious arbitration. That's how Scientology ends up protecting themselves in a lot of these cases. And it really is crazy. I mean, Valerie Haney, in her case, that woman escaped Scientology, the international base, in the trunk of a car of a stranger she didn't even know, to get away from these people. And she's still dealing with it, trying to move forward in her court case. But first she has to do the Scientology arbitration, which is really just an opportunity for Scientology to re-victimize their victims. E.S. Gotcher says, yeah, that's a slippery slope. The First Amendment kind of gives anyone the right to be an a-hole up to a point. Yeah, it does. Paralyzed to paralyzed. Culty doesn't even begin to explain cult of Scientology insanity. I would absolutely agree with that. It just when you think it can't get any crazier, Scientology's like, hold my beer. I agree, Lisa Kelson. Valerie's story is just insane. Absolutely. Queen of Karma, all these strong, resilient people who have walked away and keep fighting the good fight. My heart goes out to you all. Keep it up. Thank you. Yes, I definitely keep it up. Keep going. Keep exposing. Now, let's jump over and talk to, Vernon. No, I've not met Valerie. I have not. Let's go over and talk about now what happened outside a Los Angeles courthouse when Aaron Smith-Levin, from growing up in Scientology, saw who? Tony D'Amato, who is currently up on charges for harassing a minor. I think y'all are pretty familiar with that story. So they were at the courthouse yesterday. Aaron is in Los Angeles right now. And we're going to take a look at a couple of clips from his video on what happened yesterday, because it was wild.
How did it feel to have the judge call you a pedophile? Oh, she just hit me with her cane. She just struck me with her cane, officer.
Aaron did a lot of running. I don't know if you guys were watching it. Were you guys watching it live? I was watching it. I think I was a little bit behind, but then I got caught up. What a lot of running, because it seemed like Tony D'Amato and his mother, who is elderly, were leaving the courthouse. But for some reason that I don't understand, Tony D'Amato dragged his mom all over the place. I mean, the amount of walking and in and out that he had that woman doing, I mean, that would have landed me in traction. I mean, with my knees and joints and whatnot, I can't imagine what that was like for her. And I don't understand it. Why not take his mother inside or go get the car and bring the car to his mom? But then again, we also saw this man repeatedly tell his mother to shut the F up, which I found that to be very shocking. I can't even imagine. On my best day or worst day, never would I be saying that to my mother. I don't get it. I don't know if it's a cultural thing or what, being I was raised, I was raised by Polynesians and Japanese people. So that combination, you do not talk back or disrespect your elders like that, let alone your mom. So I was like, I don't know what's up with that. That seemed really rough. I would have just had her. I mean, gosh, yeah, James, even Aaron was doing a lot of gasping for oxygen. That was a lot of going around there. I don't understand that part. So let's look at another clip here from that. I think is this actually when he speaks to him?
How did it feel to have the judge call you a child predator?
Nobody called me a child predator. Thanks. No comment. Leave me alone.
How did it feel to have the judge say
Well, you little out of breath,
that if
fat
you
boy.
say Solomon's name
Out of breath, fat boy.
before March 4th,
Somebody's out of breath, fat boy.
you're going to be arrested and have a $500,000 bail set?
Out of breath, fat boy. No comment. You're a little way fatter than I thought, and shorter. Wow. Get
Why'd
away
you bring
from
your
me.
mom to court with you?
Because she's my mom.
Why'd you bring your mom to court with you?
Don't you wish you had your mom to talk to you?
Yeah? Who bailed you out?
All right, we'll see you. Shut up.
Did you have fun in jail? How does it feel to have the prosecutor say you're a dangerous threat to children?
I mean, he actually told her to shut the F up. I mean, in what scenario? It's not just me, right? I mean, you guys too. Could you imagine speaking to a parent that way? I just cannot. And then dragging her around. My kids even would have said, you know what, hang here. I'm going to go get the car, right? Because like, I don't have so many steps I can give in a day. And they would have done that even for me. So I don't quite understand. But maybe, maybe he can't drive, right? Maybe she was the driver and needed to go to the car. I don't know what the situation is. It just seemed like a horrible thing or a horrible way to treat your mom like that. Anna from Canada, I wonder if his mom knew all the horrific things he has been saying. I doubt it. I can't imagine that she would. I mean, I feel like if I was his mom, he would be grounded. I mean, more than that. James still not surprised he has no respect for his mummy. I agree. And the way, the reports that we've heard from people who've been victims of Tony D'Amato and the way that he has spoken specifically about women too, I mean, children as well with Solomon, it's not really a surprise. It's just really shocking. Add to it, right? We have reports per Aaron Smith-Levin shared on his channel, Growing Up in Scientology, that someone has come forward and said, yeah, the Office of Special Affairs through the Citizens Commission on Human Rights gives envelopes of money to Tony D'Amato to continue his reign of terror, if you will. So, I mean, what kind of person does that? I guess the same kind of person that would drag his elderly mother around and tell her to shut the F up. That just seems to me like it was really rough on her too. I mean, just let the woman sit down. Glenda, I hear what you're saying. Aaron was wrong to chase after him and say those things in front of his mother. Two wrongs don't make a right. I get that point of view too. I see what you're saying. It's, yeah. I just, there's just so much that's wrong with that, with this Tony D'Amato and having his mom there. I think a couple of you said in the comments that that you think that he brought his mom to protect him from being asked certain questions. Also, someone said it could be because she was the driver. Could very well be, but either way you cut it, it is just incredibly icky. And I'm glad that he's not getting away. He's being charged with what he did to Solomon and his mom, right? To Solomon, who's a minor. But he has such a history of being disgustingly verbally abusive that this is not a person that should be walking around free, in my opinion. Constance June, I don't like him or his actions. I wonder how much the TBI impacts his critical thinking. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know a lot about him or his medical condition, just some of the ways that he has gone at content creators, former Scientologists, and people never in Scientology, but all in on ending this cult. And it's vile. It's super vile. And if those things got said in front of his mother, that's a consequence of his actions too. If he thought that having his mom there was going to protect him from that, you know, I mean, she should know. Maybe there's something that she could do about it. Maybe he needs help, right? If it has something to do with his brain injury, maybe there's something, maybe there's more help for him. I don't know. If I was his mom, I would be trying to find a way to help my son and help him stop doing and engaging in these incredibly offensive and destructive actions. Look where it's leading him. It's not down a good path. I don't care how much money he's getting from Scientology or otherwise, but the result, there's only one place, one way this ends for him, and it is not good. Queen of Karma, I agree. He put his mom in that position. Lexi Ann, the mother chose to support him and go to court with him. So too bad. Yeah, I don't think people are not going to say certain things or confront him because his mom's there. Maybe that was his hope. Or maybe, like some said, she was probably the driver. You know, I'm not sure what the situation is there. But dragging her all over. Time traveler's chess. Tony said his mom had a heart attack. Aaron hit her in the sternum. I think him dragging her like that was what caused the heart issues. There's nowhere on the video do you see Aaron Smith-Levin getting even close enough to hit the woman, let alone he was holding a microphone and his camera on a gimbal, like his hands were full. What you do see is her hitting him with her cane and being dragged around in a way that seemed kind of painful. Lexi Ann, he's the one who needs to worry about his mother. Clearly, he cares nothing for her. It looks like that, just the way he spoke to her. Linda Lou, if I talked to my mom like that, my dad would have beaten me to next Tuesday. This thought scares me to no end. Yeah, I can't help but wonder too, if he is speaking to his mother that way, treating her that way, dragging her all over the place for no apparent reason, knowing she might be fragile, what is he doing behind closed doors? There's a camera out recording you, yet you still told her to shut the F up and shut up repeatedly, knowing that it was being live streamed, that tens, if not hundreds of thousands of people would end up seeing this, yet you still do that. When you behave that way so openly, I'm worried about the woman, honestly. I truly am. Yeah, I agree with you guys. I just know would not happen with one of my kids. I tell you that. I just can't even imagine. Hunter Bay, it was all views and clickbait for him. Now it's maybe over. Maybe. And honestly, that would probably be best for Tony D'Amato. Like I just can't imagine that he's in a good place, you know, mentally or otherwise. You don't behave in that way and are so hateful and disgusting and be, you know, right in the head, be in a good, healthy place. So my hope for him is that maybe this causes him to take a step back and maybe his mom can play a role in getting him some help because this is not right. Bina says he's fishing for a reason to sue someone. Absolutely. James Steele, my parents would have said, it's your bed, lie in it, son. Yeah, no kidding. Afila, he would have been shocked to see Aaron there. I think that he was. Hunter Bay, there was also no proof of hospitalization, no proof to back up the claims that Tony D'Amato was making. That is correct, far as I know. Ingrid said, it's all ZDT lies. Lexi Ann says, I would never support what ZDT did, even if it was my child. And who knows how much his mom actually knew, right? I don't know, but she knows now. Hunter Bay, it's possible elder abuse. Totally. Dragging her around and telling her to shut the F up? No. And Lisa Kelson, I agree with you totally. Rabbit, thank you. Stop. Don't. Looking gorgeous. I appreciate you. Good to see you, my friend. Queen of Karma says he can't just go around harassing people, then get mad when someone shows up to question him because he has his mom with him. True. Lisa Kelson, I don't think Aaron was screaming at all. Yeah, no, that wasn't screaming. Yeah, aloha to Rabbit. Shout out to Rabbit, you guys. Give her tons of aloha here. Now, let's take a look at, let's talk about what comes next. I got another clip for you here. Let's take a look at this and see.
The prosecutor was very strong in her argument about the strength of the case against Tony, and used the strongest of words to condemn him as a threat to children. Asked for the bail to be raised to $500,000. And the judge said, okay, well, we're not going to do that today, but we're going to set a hearing on March 4th. And she was so specific. She said, you are not to in any way speak to or about Solomon or his mother on any platform. And she was specific: Facebook, Twitch, Reddit, YouTube, Twitter, and said, this is not a complete list. You are not to in any way, shape, or form speak about them or to them. And we have a hearing on March 4th. If you don't show up to the hearing, a warrant's going to be issued for your arrest with $500,000 bail. And if you show up to the hearing and there's any evidence of you saying Solomon or his mother's name even once, you'll be immediately taken into custody and bail will be set for $500,000. So it was strong, 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 folks. There you have it. What a pussy, huh? What a pussy. Big man on the internet, not a big man in real life.
Very interesting what the judge said and is saying. I mean, it's very serious, and I hope that Tony D'Amato takes this very seriously and takes some time for maybe some personal reflection. I doubt that's going to happen. Lisa Kelson that says, if I would have run like Aaron, I would be dead now. I know, myself included. And he goes to the gym too. So I'm like, I wouldn't have lasted a minute. I remember when I ran going after in Kansas City when I was there protesting, I was like, took me out for a day. I didn't even run that far. James Steele, Aaron didn't have the breath left to shout. Poor guy. Yeah, that's true. Queen of Karma. Yeah, he wasn't wearing the mullet. That would have been funny though. I wonder if he took it with him. I don't know. I'll have to ask him. Stay tuned today. There is more coming. Yes. I've got a members only live later today, 4 p.m. Central Time. And if our members can't make it, go ahead and catch it on the replay. I'm going to need some feedback from you. It's going to be somewhat of a working session. But yeah, I got a feeling there's going to be some stuff happening today out on the West Coast. Yeah, Stace. Aaron got his cardio in. Oh, Linda Lou, he does have the mullet with him. Okay, cool. Maybe we'll get to see it. Molly Lang. Hey, girl. Hey, good to see you. Northern Girl says he also slandered Aaron by saying that his mother's fake injuries were from Aaron. That's actionable. True. If anything, I would think his injuries were from dragging his mom around like that. Truly. All right, y'all. Do me a solid. Hit that like. Go ahead and hit that subscribe as well. Members only at 4 p.m. today. Otherwise, I will see you guys later. I hope you guys get out and have an amazing cult-free day.